The funny thing is when we talk about personal loans for fair credit, fast approval, soft pull, you have two categories of lenders. You have lenders who ask lots of questions, like they have a very long loan approval process. And then you have lenders who ask very few questions. So in today's conversation, I want to talk to you about those lenders who ask fewer questions, who not really are going, or they're not going to bother you with a lot of questions. They will approve you real fast, and they actually have a soft pull process. So here is a review that you really want to pay attention to. Number 5, we have Marcus by Goldman Sachs. Our score, 8.8 over 10. The cool thing about Marcus is that they have a long repayment window. So 72 months, that's 6 years. And minimum credit score, 590. The APR here will range from 6.74% to 24.74% with auto pay. And loan amounts are very generous. You're looking at $3,500 to $40,000. The only problem, and this is a big problem with Marcus, is that they actually stopped accepting online loan applications. So you need to be invited. So they need to send you a pre-qual. So if they send you a pre-qual offer, then you can go online and apply. But without that, you cannot by yourself just to go on Marcus.com and apply for a loan. This is one of the reasons why we actually downgraded them. I mean, we used to rate them very high before, but after they actually did that little change in their loan application process, we were rating them 9.7 before, and after the change, we brought them down to 8.8. But it's still a good lender though. It's a great lender. So here are the pros and cons here. So the pros: there is no origination, late payment, insufficient fund or prepayment fees. Okay, they do offer a debt consolidation payment directly to third party lenders. And as a borrower, you can change your payment date up to 3 times over the life of the loan. So this is really good in terms of cash flow flexibility. In terms of cons, they do not allow co-signers or co-applicants. Okay, you cannot use the loan to refinance an existing student loan, and funding can take up to 3 to 4 days. And another thing that I just said, you need to be invited. So in terms of eligibility, you got to be invited. Even though the credit score starts at around 590, you still need to be invited. Okay, but you can use the cash for a lot of things, not a problem. So fair credit, bad credit, they can still approve you, and they have a relatively fast approval turnaround. This is really good. 3 to 4 days. This is really good. So overall, Marcus by Goldman Sachs, 8.8 over 10. Number 4, we have Rocket Loans. Our score, 9.2 over 10. By the way, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. So we're having a quick convo about the personal loan for fair credit, fast approval, soft pull. Okay, when you think about Rocket Loans is a pretty interesting animal, because they're great for credit histories of at least 2 years. So if you have a short credit history, they'll take care of you. The minimum FICO score here is 580. The APR for Rocket Loans goes from 8.41% to 30%, but you got to have auto pay here as well. And Rocket Loans is a little more generous than Marcus, so they will approve you for loan amounts from $2,000 to $45,000. So we really love that a lot. I mean, the one thing you need to remember here is that Rocket Homes and Rocket Mortgage are both subsidiaries of Quicken Loans. Okay, the only thing is that Rocket Loans offers personal loans through Cross River Bank. Okay, so it's really important. Now, what I want to say here is that Rocket Loans is a great option. Great option if you're looking for cash real fast. Okay, the only thing is they do charge an origination fee, and for us this is really unnecessary. But I guess they got a little greedy, and they just charge you. They will charge you an origination fee, but just make sure that you pay this fee after you are approved. Okay, the APR will go from, like I said, 8 to 30%. So here are the pros and cons. Pros: you have a pre-qualification process that only requires a soft credit check. They do offer same-day approval, and same-day funding may be possible. They do not impose a prepayment penalty, and there is a rate discount available with auto pay. What about the cons? Well, they do have fees for origination, late payment, and insufficient funds. They don't offer direct payments for debt consolidation loans, and they don't allow co-signers or co-applicants. And you do have a limited loan repayment terms here, okay? So overall, in terms of eligibility, this is a great lender. We love the fact that the FICO score is kind of low, like minimum 580. So to qualify 580, this is really good. They get you the cash real fast, okay? In terms of minimum annual income, they're asking for $2,000 a month, so that's $24,000 a year. That's gross income. So overall, we love this record loans lender. Pretty generous, pretty solid. So our score 9.2 over 10. Number 3, we have Lightstream. Our score 9.5 over 10. Just want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We're having a conversation about personal loans, fair credit, soft pull, fast approval, the top 5 lenders who actually approve you real fast, and they don't ask a lot of questions, okay? So when you think about Lightstream, I want you to think about a lender who's good for lower interest rates. The minimum credit score here is around 600 to 660. The APR will oscillate between 5.99 to 22.49%, and Lightstream is actually the most generous lender in today's conversation. In other words, they will approve you for loan amounts that go from $5,000 to $100,000. Okay, this is really good. One thing you need to know is that Lightstream is actually a division of Truist, one of our favorite banks here, and Truist is actually Truist came actually into fruition after the merger of SunTrust Bank and BB&T. So this is really good. But Lightstream is actually the online division, the online lending division of Truist. Okay, Truist still has consumer loans, but if you're looking for an online loan, you want to go with Lightstream. Okay, this is really cool. But overall, this is great. We love the fact that they're very generous. Okay. And Lightstream is actually available in all states, 50 states plus the District of Columbia, even Puerto Rico. This is fantastic. What are the pros and cons here? The pros: you have no origination, prepayment, or late fees. You have low competitive rates, fast approval, and funding. What about the cons? Well, there is no pre-qualification process in some cases. Okay, there is no due date flexibility, and there are limitations on use of loan proceeds. But overall, in terms of eligibility, Lightstream is pretty cool. They require a minimum FICO score that starts at 600, depending on your states. And so to increase your chance of approval, just make sure you have several years of credit history, including multiple account types as well as income that is stable. They really pay attention to income stability. So this is really important for Lightstream. But overall, this is really good. I mean, you're able to pre-qualify. You're able to pre-qualify based on your state. Some states, they don't have this chance to pre-qualify, but otherwise, please just make sure first go to Lightstream.com and see if pre-qualification is available in your state. Okay. Number 2, we have Avant. Our score 9.7 over 10. What we love about Avant is that their credit score requirements are very low. You're looking at 580. The APR is kind of decent. You're looking at 10% to 36%. Loan amounts here, they're not really generous, but the only reason why we rated them really high is because they get you the cash real fast. So in terms of loan amounts, they give you from $2,000 to $35,000. But for us, it's really it's one of the best lenders because they get you the cash real fast, and the credit score requirements are kind of low. Okay, let's talk about the pros and cons here. Pros: they do have secured and unsecured loan options available. They have a low credit score requirement, 580. And the loan terms are that the repayment window goes all the way to 5 years, 60 months, 5 years. So this is really good. What about the cons? Well, they do charge you an upfront administrative fee. They have a high starting APR for prime borrowers. So if your score is below 500, and co-signers and co-applicants are not allowed. So overall, in terms of eligibility, Avant actually provides credit services to a range of customers, including those with fair or bad credit. Okay, so this is why the credit score requirement is very low, the 580. Okay, this is really, but it is really good. And in terms of income, if you have minimum $20,000. You will find your blessings through Avon. Okay, $20,000. That's about what? That's less than $2,000 a month. But this gross income though, gross annual income. Okay, so this is before taxes. Okay, and the cool thing is that Avon allows you to pre-qualify for the loan. You have a soft pull. You can see if you qualify, how much you can qualify for, and all that kind of stuff. So, and we also love the fact that Avon is really fast. I've said this before. They are really fast. Okay, so if you approve, let's say if you are approved for an unsecured loan before 4:30 p.m. Central, Monday through Friday, you may receive your funds the next business day. Okay, so this is what it is. But otherwise, overall, this is a solid lender that we love a lot. Number one, the best of the best when it comes to personal loans, soft pull, fair credit. Upgrade. Our score 9.8 over 10. Just want to quickly remind you of today's topic once again. We're talking about personal loans, fair credit, big approval, low doc. So I'm just sharing with you lenders who are always generous. Okay, we're not really focusing on stingy ass lenders. No, we want to focus on lenders who are really generous. Okay, what we love about Upgrade is not because they are the most generous of today's lenders, because they only approve you for loan amounts that go from 1,000 to 35 grand. What we love with Upgrade is the fact that they approve a large constellation, a large spectrum of credit scores. They fund you real fast, and they're constantly improving their technology. You have several ways of connecting with them. Their customer service is just fantastic. And the funny thing is that Upgrade just started 5 years ago. It's just amazing. They started 5 years ago, but like in the last 5 years, they were able to conquer a substantial part of the market. Okay, loan amounts go from 1,000 to 35 grand. Okay, and this is and they actually in terms of credit score 580. Okay, so let me talk to you about the pros and cons of Upgrade. The pros: they have low minimum credit score requirements. Borrowers can use funds to cover business expenses. They do offer direct lender payoff for debt consolidation loans. This is really good, right? What about the cons? They have a high APR range. They do charge fees for origination, late payment, and insufficient funds. And they only offer 2 loan repayment periods. Okay, so those are things you really need to know. But overall, in terms of eligibility, Upgrade is kind of cool. And actually, they just want you to make sure that you have a FICO score of 580. In terms of income, they want you to make at least $1,500 a month on a gross income. Okay, and but the thing is, depending on your state, they might actually tell you we just want you to have a minimum monthly cash flow of 800. But in our experience, and this is based on the last 3 to 4 years, we have been studying Upgrade. We have seen that they actually, if you have 1,500, that's actually the sweet spot whereby you can qualify for a personal loan with Upgrade. Okay, so so it takes about 24 to 72 hours to actually get funds disbursed once you're qualified for their loan. What will happen here is that sometimes they will they might actually qualify you the same day. You can get a response online, or sometimes they will call you back if they have additional question. But otherwise, usually the process is pretty straightforward. They have if you apply online, it takes about 5 to 10 minutes. Like they just ask you for your social, your first name, last name, your address, your date of birth, like some kind of basic information. And once you enter everything, they will actually let you know right then and there, because they have a soft pull process as well. So they'll let you know right away if you qualify or not. And if you do, then you're good to go. Let me give you a few pro tips. If you have made it so far, I just want to share with you a few things before we close to this conversation. The whole thing here is that if you're trying to compare personal loans for fair credit, fast approval, soft pull, you got to have a plan. You got to have some markers. You got to have some pointers to know exactly whether or not you should go for one loan versus another, right? So the question is, Obviously, upgrade is number one in our view, but maybe for you it's live stream. Maybe for you it's record loans. Okay, maybe for you it's Marcus. Okay, maybe for you it's live stream because you do have an existing relationship with Truist. Okay, which is a number one criterion when we talk about comparing personal loans for fair credit. Make sure that you start with a lender who knows you the most, right? You want to start where they know you. You want to start where you have what we call a home court advantage. This is really important. Do not underestimate that. And once you've thought about that, think about the maximum interest rates the lender is charging, because see, lenders are pretty good when it comes to advertising their loans and lines of credit and whatnot. They actually will put forward the APR range, right? They never give you a fixed APR. They give you a very large range with the delta the delta can be sometimes a 30%. Like they tell you, for instance, our rate starts at 5% and go all the way to 35%. That's a large gap. That's a large delta. And they do this purposefully because they want to make sure that they have they retain flexibility in terms of when it comes to the APR they charge you. So make sure that you always look at the maximum interest rate, because you can end up paying the maximum interest rate if you have poor credit, right? So you want to make sure that you are comfortable with the maximum interest rates. But you constantly want to look for personal loans that pre-qualify you, okay? Never apply for a loan without pre-qualification, if at all possible. If it is possible, always seize the opportunity for pre-qualification. And in terms of, besides the rates, you also got to think about the additional fees that sometimes some lenders will charge you. If you remember, like a few minutes ago, I was just talking to you about the fact that record loans, live stream, and other players, they were charging you administrative fees, right? They were charging you some kind of file fee, some kind of application fees. Those can really add up. So you want to make sure that you've done your research on that end also. And you also need to think about the customer support. Okay, if you need help, you want to make sure you choose a lender who has excellent customer support. Let me give you a bonus here. If you have been listening to us for the last 20 minutes, one thing I want to tell you here, one thing I want to say here is that if you want to apply for personal loans for fair credit, and when you want to do it properly, if you want to have the right strategy to apply and always get approved, because the whole thing is we want to make sure that whenever you apply, you always get approved. If you always want to get approved, please first check your credit score. Because the whole thing is you're thinking you have fair credit, or you're thinking maybe you have bad credit. What if this was not a reality? What if you did not have either? What if you had excellent credit? What if you had good credit? Okay, always check your credit score first to make sure that everything is fine. And once you do that, try to really improve your credit score. So it's not just about checking my credit score and say, okay, I'm currently around 580. I'm currently around 680. I'm currently around 780. Okay. And so what? So what? It's just a number. So if you're comfortable with that number, go ahead and just chill. But if you're not comfortable with that number, then we need to think about an action plan. Okay. So also one thing you want to do here is that when you think about let's say improving your score, make sure that you evaluate your budget all the time. You got to evaluate your budget, because your budget is going to have an impact on your ability to repay whatever loan you are going to get anyway, right? So those are things that you really have to pay attention to. What we tell our viewers all the time is that you want to write down exactly how much you're getting every month, like your inflows, your cash inflows, and your cash outflows, to make sure that you are comfortable with the monthly loan repayment. Because if your DTI is already high, your debt to income ratio is already high, then you don't have a lot of possibilities. Okay, so it's really important to think about your possibilities, how much you can actually take on in terms of loan payments. Also think about pre-qualifying with multiple lenders. I said this before. Okay, soft pull is really important. So overall, The goal is to always make sure that you are able to do your research before applying. Okay, very important. Before I do a recap, please check out our loan evaluation approach. We have a strict methodology on this show when it comes to evaluating, categorizing, and listing loans. Check this out. Okay, let's quickly recap today's conversation. So, here are the top 5 personal loans for fair credit, fast approval, low doc. Number 1, we have Upgrade. Our score 9.8 over 10. Number 2, we have Evan, 9.7 over 10. Number 3, we have Lightstream, 9.5 over 10. Number 4, we have Record Loans, 9.2 over 10. Number 5, we have Marcus, 8.8 over 10. Thank you so much for your attention. I'll see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.